mankind attempts to fabricate great works at once magnificent and impossible. On desert sands, from mountains of stone, a pyramid, from flying buttresses alone, a wall of light. A chapel ceiling screaming one man's ecstasy, one man's ecstasy. Miracles them all, China's endless wall, Stonehenge, the Parthenon, the Duomo, the aqueducts of Rome. We did not attempt to make with mammoth blocks of stone a giant pyramid, no, not a pyramid. No Gothic walls that radiate with light. Our task was to dream upon and then create a floating city, floating city. A human metropolis, a complete civilization, sleek, fast, at once a poem and a perfection of physical engineering, at once a poem and a perfection of physical engineering.
How do they build Titanic? Near 1,000 feet in length. Huge beyond past endeavor, strong beyond mortal strength. 46,000 tons of steel, 11 stories high. She's a great palace floating, quiet as a lullaby. Fare thee well, my darling, I'll be back before a fortnight has passed.
Fare thee well, my darling, I'll be back before a fortnight has passed.
Fare thee well, my darling, I'll be back before a fortnight has passed. Barrett, stoke her off the Baltic.
Fleet, look out off the Majestic.
Harold Bride, wireless operative for the Marconi International Marine Signal Communications Company, Limited.
There she is, towering high, broad and grand, ship of dreams, sailing day, morning bright, take your flight, ship of dreams. She strains at her lines, smoke from her funnels trailing. Her prow like a knife, she'll cut through the waves, unveiling. Soon to be underway, size and speed unexplored, and I'll be aboard that ship of dreams. 7,000 heads of fresh lettuce, Titanic.
Morning, Mr. Lightoller.
Morning, Mr. Pittman.
Morning, Mr. Boxall. Morning, Captain Smith.
Morning, Captain.
Morning, Captain.
36,000 oranges, Titanic.
Morning, Mr. Hitchens. Morning, Mr. Murdoch.
Morning, Captain Smith.
Morning, Murdoch.
Morning, Captain.
Mr. Pittman, please complete the loading.
loading of the freight and prepare for the boarding of the serving staff and crew.
Aye, Captain.
There she
Heresies, mate!
towering high,
Broad
and grand, ship of dreams,
Titanic!
sailing
Hey,
there,
Mrs. Hutchinson.
morning
Morning,
bright.
Mrs. Thompson. How, Mrs. Beecham?
Your
Mr.
flight,
Whiteman.
ship of dreams.
122,000 pounds of meat, poultry, and fish, Titanic.
40 tons of potatoes, 1,100 pounds of marmalade, 37,000 bottles of wine, beer, and spirits. Titanic.
55,000 china dishes and 20,000 crystal drinking glasses, Titanic.
1 Renault town carriage motor car. Titanic.
Morning, Mr. Whittree. Hey, Mr. Oliver.
On the way,
Morning, Mr. Hartley. Hey, Mr. Jogan.
eyes and speed.
Cheers, Mr. Whiteman.
Explode, and I'll be aboard that ship of dreams.
Captain Smith, has it ever been a finer morning to sail?
Never quite like this, Mr. Rismay. Never quite like this one, sir.
Mr. Andrews has a line of a had a faster ship for the mail. Not as fast as this, Mr. Risby. Never quite like this one, sir. The pride of mankind, dominion over the sea. The dream of progress, it brings great honor to me.
To be the master
And the builder and the owner of the largest moving object in the world.
Mr. Pittman, begin boarding the passengers.
Third-class passengers, proceed at once to the gangway. Please bring your boarding documents and await further instructions.
Holy Mother of God, is that a ship or a mountain?
It looks long enough so a body could walk to America. I'm Catherine McGowan, but everyone calls me Kate.
Oh, I'm Kate too. Kate Mullins. And I'm Kate 3. Kate Murphy.
It must be fate. It's not fate, it's Irish. Are you traveling alone? Not me. I've got a filler. See that good-looking one up ahead? I'm planning to marry him.
Oh, when's that gonna be?
Soon as I meet him. Get me aboard, call out my name. It's to America we aim. To find a better life, we pray to make this trip. Let all our children's children know that this day long ago we dreamt of them and came aboard this ship for the maiden voyage, for the maiden voyage. Get us all aboard.
Second-class passengers, proceed to CDNE decks. Please contact the ship's purser to arrange dining assignments.
No account to the national press has quite done justice to this.
It's a sight for once in a lifetime.
Yes, a sight for once in a lifetime.
And a chance to run away and marry now we too daren't miss.
It's a chance for once in a lifetime.
Yes, a chance for once in a lifetime.
Get aboard that ship today. Hit her when she pulls away and takes her maiden sail. I must get on that ship. Largest, grandest on the earth, and I've reserved a berth to be aboard. Now put me toward that ship. The finest people will attend. The best among them will befriend. They'll stand right next to us, be at my fingertip.
Great heads of state and millionaires who run the world's affairs
will all be there. I must get on that ship for the maiden voyage, for the maiden voyage. Get us all aboard.
First-class passengers occupying the deluxe suites on A deck. are requested to board at this time.
Alice, come back!
Oh, Edgar, I want to see them.
Colonel John Jacob Astor and Mrs. Astor too, arriving now from the boat train, direct from Waterloo Station, may proceed to their parlor suite, A62.
Her name is Madeleine. She's Jacob Astor's second wife. She's only 19 years old, and now she's married to a prominent man worth over $150 million, and 29 years her senior. They've only been married 7 months. She's already 7 months pregnant, and the scandal was such they ran away to Europe to avoid the publicity. Avoid the publicity.
Mr. and Mrs. Isidore Strauss may proceed to parlor suite B55.
Aren't they modest? You'd never guess by looking at him that he and his partner own Macy's department store. Own Macy's department store outright! And he was first advisor to President for Cleveland and served in the House of Representatives 2 full terms. And that's his wife of 40 years named Ida. Sad she hasn't been well. So the two of them have been wintering on the French Riviera. French Riviera.
Mr. Benjamin Guggenheim and party will find his customary suite on A deck.
Made his money by smelting gold, spends it like water. $4,500 for the Louis Couture suite, so he can live a luxurious inn with his latest mistress. And they call that justice? They call that justice?
Mr. and Mrs. George Widener may proceed to Promenade Suite B51.
He's the richest man in Philadelphia.
Mr. and Mrs. John B. Thayer and family, Promenade Suite B58.
Vice President of the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Mrs. Charlotte Drake Cardoza, Suite B54.
No one really knows who she is, but the newspaper says she booked the most expensive suite on the ship and travels with 14 steamer trunks, a medicine chest, her personal pillows and sheets, and 4 little Pekingese dogs. So she must be somebody. She must be somebody.
Last call for boarding. This is the very last call for boarding. Lift up the ramp, let go the lines, raise up the crawlers and designs, prepare for casting off and through the port we'll slip. Each person standing at the rail, let one great thought prevail, one single prayer. God bless this noble ship. On ashore, we're going ashore. On ashore, we're going ashore. I report this ship loaded and ready for sea.
Lower the gangways, Mr. Pittman.
Gangways lowered, Captain.
Make fast the tugs.
Tugs all fast, sir.
Let go all lines.
Let go the stern lines. Let go the bow lines. Let go the aft springs.
Tow her off, Mr. Pittman. Godspeed, Titanic, from your birth, fly free, as your
Somebody! My car broke down! Hold this ship! Wait! Come back! You've got to come back! I told everyone I was crossing the Titanic. What am I going to tell them now? I'm going to be the laughing stock of Poughkeepsie. I don't believe it. That isn't the story of my entire goddamn life.
We've cleared Wolf Rock, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. What's our present course?
West by north, 281 degrees, sir.
Steady as she goes, Quartermaster.
Aye, Captain.
Mr. Lightoller, what's our present speed?
19 knots, sir.
Maintain 19 knots, Mr. Murdoch.
Aye, Captain. Rudder rooms 1 through 6. Maintain 68 revolutions of the wing propellers.
EJ, now that we're officially underway, I thought a little celebration might be in order.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ismay, but I don't allow alcohol on my bridge. You know that, Mr. Etches.
Yes, sir, I do.
Technically speaking, EJ, it could be considered my bridge.
Not at sea, Mr. Ismay.
I'm sorry, sir. This bottle seems to have gone completely flat. I couldn't possibly allow you to drink it. Shall I fetch you another, sir?
Oh, never mind. Let it go.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Again, my apologies.
Thank you, Mr. Etches.
Yes. Well, with or without champagne, I want to toast our ship, the Royal Mail Steamer Titanic. Nearly a quarter-mile in length, she is bigger, grander, and safer than any ship in history. The greatest achievement in transatlantic navigation since our very first crossing nearly 420 years ago. Ah, Andrews, there you are. I was just congratulating the three of us on our magnificent contribution to the 20th century. Progress, gentlemen. I give you progress.
I trust you'll excuse us, Mr. Ismay. We have our duties.
EJ, what is our present speed?
19 knots, Mr. Dismay.
Really? I would have thought we would be going faster now that we cleared dry land. I want to reach New York by Tuesday afternoon. Tell me, Andrews. I understand that 22 knots would be necessary in order to make a 6-day crossing. In your expert opinion, is Titanic capable of that speed? Come, Andrews. You built the thing. Are we capable of 22 knots?
Capable, I'm sure we are, possibly a bit more if pushed, but it is...
Excellent, sir. I'm pleased to hear it.
But it is customary for a maiden voyage to proceed prudently.
It is the maiden voyage that creates news, damn it. And I intend for this one to create a legend. So answer me straight, man. When can we expect to run at full speed?
When the captain orders it, sir.
Then we must persuade him to do so, mustn't we?
In point of fact, Mr. Dismay, I was just about to give the order when you walked in. Mr. Murdoch, increase speed to 20 knots.
20 knots. Aye, Captain. Increase steam, Mr. Bell. Give us 71 revolutions.
20 knots. Well, it's a start, I suppose. Carry on, gentlemen.
Mr. Hitchens, watch your compass. You're drifting off course.
Well, I don't think so, sir.
Don't argue with me, man. If I say it off course, then you're bloody well off course.
Turn your screws to 71, Mr. Barrett.
71, Mr. Bell? If you ask me, it's a mite soon for 71.
Captain's orders, Mr. Barrett. If you've got no objections, that is.
It's his ship, isn't it? 71 it shall be. But I'll speak plain, Mr. Bell. If it were my ship, I wouldn't recommend her speed increase too quick.
Do as you're told, Mr. Barrett!
She's sparkling clean, this newborn ship, but one whole thing is clear. The orders they propose above, we execute down here. We'll watch from here as up above, they'll catch a whiff of glory.
This wonder ship may be brand new, but it's the same old story. Stoke the fire in the hull as the men draw back. Feed the heat in the hull as the men draw back. And the dust of the coal in the air is black, and the trickle of sweat runs down your back. And what are the boys of the Midlands doing here? Coal it is that makes the steam that run the machines that run the world, that send the men below the ground to mine the coal each day. From Leicestershire and Nottingham, us lads that worked down in the pit knew if you got above the ground, you'd save your soul. Some way, get out of the pit, and westward I knew I could run, and ship out to sea, and there my new life was begun. And the screws are turning at 71. It became my dream to go out to sea. Further out from the mind you couldn't be. But born to the coal, there's no place for you elsewhere. You trade a life of dank and gloom to shovel in the boiler room, but now you're 7 decks below a lady's dainty feet. And nothing has changed, there's nothing a miner can do. The pit and your mates turn into the hole, and the crew, and the screws are turning at 72. Faster and faster we watch as we gain ever more. 73 and to Sue, it is 74. For record speed, I believe we strive. For maintenance that's too hard to drive. If we push her faster than 75, that is the truth, I swear.
Yeah, I think they want us to get the hell back to our own saloon.
Which, Edgar, did you get a good look at John Jacob Astor? Oh, he looks exactly like he does in his pictures.
So do you, Alice.
Oh, Edgar, this is so exciting. Almost every famous millionaire in the whole world is on this ship, and I think we'll actually be rubbing elbows with them. How impressed they'll all be when they hear all that you know about hardware.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't exactly count on rubbing elbows with them. They won't let us peasants in second class anywhere near those people in there.
Oh, well, what is the point of being on this boat if we can't hobnob with them? It's bad enough we have to make do with that dinky little cabin and those 2 silly little bunk beds.
We don't have to use the top one, Alice.
Calm down, Edgar. I am telling you right now, Edgar, I am going in there. If it's the last thing I do, I am going in there.
Damn it, Alice.
Language, Edgar.
They don't want us in there. They want us out here where we are. That's all we paid for. That's all we get.
Well, that's not all I'm saying.
Rich people, you mean?
Of course they're rich, darling. They're Americans. Oh, can't you just imagine what they'll all be jabbering about? All those things my father lives for. International banking, venture capital, cornering the market, you know, that sort of thing.
And how would I know that sort of thing, Caroline? My father never had a corner on the market. All my father ever had was a market on the corner. I warned you running away with me would be educational. Caroline, aren't you thrilled? Finally now, you'll see what second class looks like.
Oh, Charles, I love it when you're sarcastic. It makes me feel like we're a real married couple.
And why not? That's exactly what we would have been if your snob of a father would have permitted it. And that's exactly what we will be the moment we arrive in America.
Darling, considering our living arrangements, I think everyone on board thinks we're already married.
You know perfectly well we'd have separate boarding cabins if I could have afforded them.
Yes, but separate cabins would have meant separate beds, Charles.
Well, I guess we had to make do with what we had, didn't we? You don't suppose we'll burn in hell for it, do you?
Stop worrying, darling. In America, it's not a sin at all.
What isn't?
Saving money.
My dear Mr. Latimer, prepare to greet our clientele. Our meeting is imminent. Our having just rung the dinner bell, it won't be a novelty. We mostly have seen them all before. Prepare for the usual. You should be aware of what's in store. We serve them on the Baltic and the Oceanic, Olympic and Majestic, and today's the same. There's nothing changed. Mr. Astor takes his toast dry. Mrs. Strauss likes the grouse with the sauce on the side, and the Wideners love kidney pie. Bring it hot, if it's not, they'll be fit to be tied. They're accustomed to the best of all that money buys. The world of free enterprise has given this privilege to the rich. When they're idle, they're entitled to that luxury which we provide. That's forever the source of our pride, which is why we're always there with our special form of care for every hungry millionaire. By now they've all arrived.
Sailing aboard the greatest ship that ever sailed the seas. The hull and the gear imperviously stronger by degrees.
Magnificent crystal chandeliers, parquets in all the floors.
The ceiling is Jacobean, of decor the world adores.
Pristine. Here we seat the elite whom we happily serve. Here they dine on fine French cuisine. It's the creme de la creme's exclusive preserve. It's the pleasure of the leisure class's greatest wits to be where the captain sits when taking a dinner on the sea. Giving deference to their preferences is our chief art. We play a part in a perfectly working machine. You should ever be aware this is a privilege great and rare, a special burden that we bear in our respective lives.
U.S. Steel's 50 shares at 5 to 4. Monopoly makes the industry far better than before.
Continuing the coordination of King Charles V was grand.
And afterwards off to Monaco to frolic in the sand.
So much to surprise and amaze. What a remarkable time, what a remarkable world, what a remarkable
The hull and the keel impervious, magnificent crystal chandeliers, a fellow's invented see-through film, and what a remarkable age this is.
The dinner seating for Thursday, April 11th is now being served in the first class dining saloon.
never forget my last tour in India during the Terror campaign of '97 to reopen the Khyber Pass, when we were ambushed by 8,000 crazed, godless savages who attacked without warning.
EJ, have you ever had so many distinguished Americans in your charge at one time? You know most of them, I'm sure. And of course, everyone knows the Major.
Of course, welcome aboard. Mr. Guggenheim, you're becoming quite a regular on the Atlantic run.
Yes, in point of fact, this is my 34th crossing.
EJ, you haven't told us how many miles we covered yesterday.
484, Mr. Ismay.
Are you pleased with that?
Yes, I am, sir. That's far better than I expected for the first day.
Excellent. Then I'm sure we'll do much better today.
Begging your pardon, Captain. Mr. Hitchens has requested his course.
Increase speed, Mr. Murdoch, to 21 knots, and tell Mr. Hitchens to set course at west-northwest 292 degrees.
That's the northern track, sir.
I'm well aware of that, Mr. Murdoch. It will save us both coal and time. At least 3 hours.
3 hours? Oh, well done, EJ.
The dinner seating for Friday, April 12th is now being served in the first-class dining saloon.
Don't believe I told you about my forced march to the Sudan during the winter of '85 to relieve the attack on Chinese Gordon by the Mahdi and 6,000 of his crazed, godless savages
we're
who
all anxious to learn of yesterday's mileage.
519, Mr. Dismay.
Oh, much better.
I'm sorry to disturb your meal, Captain.
Who the devil are you?
A second wireless operator Bride, sir, with the Marconi International Marine Radio Telegraphy Communications
What is it, Mr. Bride?
Message, sir. From the furnace liner at Bahanic, 4 days out of Halifax. She reports an iceberg.
Thank you, Mr. Bride. I can read.
Right. Aye, sir.
The dinner seating for Saturday, April 13th is now being served in the first-class dining saloon.
But the proudest moment of my entire career came in Act 2 under the command of Kitchener at Johannesburg, when untold thousands of crazed, godless savages appeared without
Mrs.
warning.
Astor! I understand this was your first trip to Europe.
But not her last, Mrs. Widener. Certainly not her last.
And how did you find Paris, Mrs. Astor?
Thank goodness I didn't have to. Jake knew right where it was.
Excuse me, Captain.
Yes, Mr. Lightoller?
Have you any instructions, sir, concerning our present speed?
Maintain 21 knots.
21 knots. Aye, sir.
21 knots? Oh, come, EJ. I promised these gentlemen we'd arrive in New York by nightfall Tuesday. At this rate, we'll never make it.
I'm afraid it's too soon for either of us to say, Mr. Dismay. I trust you'll forgive me. Please continue with your meal.
Oh, Captain, must you leave us?
Unfortunately, Mrs. Thayer, my duties on the bridge, though not nearly so pleasant as sitting here with you attractive ladies, require my attention. Please excuse me.
Remarkable man, our Captain Smith.
Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable man, our Captain Smith. Remarkable, remarkable time. Remarkable times. Remarkable world. So much to surprise and amaze. And what a remarkable time. What a remarkable world. What a remarkable age.
Sweets and after-dinner liqueurs are now being served in the Café Parisian.
What's our position, Mr. Murdoch?
Latitude 4235 north, longitude 4550 west, Captain.
And the sea temperature, Mr. Lightoller?
Last check down 5 degrees to 34 Fahrenheit, sir.
Another ice warning, Captain. From the Caronian?
Another one?
Yes, they sighted a large berg at 4150 north by 4952 west.
Plot the position with the other reports we've received.
It's directly on our new course, sir.
Not to worry, at least 600 miles off.
Still, Captain.
Not Don't worry, we'll keep a sharp eye, eh? And, Mr. Murdoch, increase speed to 22 knots.
22, Captain?
Yes, let's do everything we can to avoid bringing Mr. Ismay to the bridge again.
Yes, sir. Engine room, increase steam to 78 revolutions of the wing propellers.
If I remember correctly, Mr. Murdoch, you qualified for your master's papers when you were only 25, youngest man in the line's history. Yet here you are still without a ship of your own. What are you waiting for, Mr. Murdoch?
The master of a ship carries a heavy responsibility, Captain.
Every single minute, Mr. Murdoch.
I'm just not certain I'm up to it, sir.
The ship's master must be certain of everything, even when he's not. And I'm as certain of that as I am that this is my final crossing.
Captain?
After 43 years of service, I informed the line of my wish to retire. But they asked me to stay on, see them through the maiden voyage. My wife was disappointed, of course, but how could I refuse? Take over, Mr. Murdoch.
Thousands on board, each in his class. You are the master of all that must pass. Yours to set course, yours to command. You hold their souls in the palm of your hand. You hold their souls in the palm of your hand.
Third-class passengers are reminded not to bring food below deck.
What's the reason for that, then?
It encourages the rats.
They got rats on a brand new ship?
They're always the first aboard.
Well, they're welcome to have part of my share. Sure, and me entire family could live a week off just what I've been leaving on me plate. And all of it for free.
Free? Are you daft then? And why do you suppose they charge us every bit of 60 shillings for a passage? What do I need with all this fine cloth and electrical light?
Well, Jim Farrell, I'm gonna have fine cloth and electrical light and a whole lot more when I get to America, including me own personal bathtub. I'm gonna rise straight to the top, I will, just like cream. I will be a proper person. People will look up to me. What a girl, that girl McGowan, Katie Violet Montgomery. I aspire to heights of glory in the new world that can be. In that grandest nation I'll stand tall, reach my very highest hopes of all. I'm aiming to have a real profession, I am.
Me too.
Me too. I want to be a lady's maid in America. In America, the streets are paved with gold. I want to be a governess in America. In America, it's better, I am told.
I want to be a sewing girl in America. In America, I'll sew till I am old. There's a place called Chicago.
I've seen it on the map. There's a place called Maryland. I've seen it on the map.
There's a place in America called Albuquerque, and I'm hoping it's a bit like Donegal.
Oh, I'm hoping that it is. There, I'm hoping that it is. Where am I dreaming? Am I hoping? Am I scheming? Am I praying? Am I wishing to be happy? Will come true enough.
I want to be an engineer. An engineer. In America, the streets are paved with gold.
I want a shop to call my own, In America, it's better, I am told. Oh, far beyond the northern sea, a new life can unfold.
And I'm planning that it will.
How I'm planning that it will. Where am I dreaming? Am I hoping? Am I scheming? Am I praying? Am I wishing to be happy? Will come true enough.
I want to be a millionaire in America. Strike it rich and spend a fortune I amass.
I want to be a constable in America. In America, you rise above your class. Oh, there's the place your industry and talent can be sold.
And I'm certain that it will. There, I'm certain that it will.
Ich will ein gutes Leben haben. Una bella vita nelle stati uniti.
Where am I dreaming? Am I hoping? Am I scheming? Am I praying? Am I wishing to be happy? Will come true enough. And I want to rise above myself.
America, the streets are paved with gold. America, the streets are paved with gold.
I want to be a lady's maid.
Millionaire. Engineer.
In America.
Better place for me and you. Better land to start anew. Better land for the baby. That
It's turning bloody cold, isn't it, Mr. Lightoller?
Yes, feels rather more like February than April.
Ah, Andrews, there you are. Been looking everywhere for you. I want your opinion on how you think the crossing is going so far.
Not as well as I'd hoped, Mr. Ismay. We've got a few problems.
Really? Such as what?
Well, I'm disappointed in the water pressure in the upper decks, and the kitchen staff are complaining that their sleeping quarters are overheated.
Oh, there's gratitude for you. In my father's day, they were lucky to have any heat at all. Now, tell me, Andrews, are you satisfied with our present speed?
I think so, sir.
Well, I don't mind telling you that I'm very disappointed. The sea is calm, the weather's fair. Why aren't we going faster?
We're doing 22 knots, Mr. Ismay. That's better than any White Star ships ever managed.
Andrews, tell me, you chaps at Holland and Wolff built the Cunard ships too. Was Titanic intentionally designed to go slower?
I really must protest the implications, sir. When your father ran the line, he demanded safety and comfort before speed. Cunard may get the passengers that are a bit faster, yes, but White Star gives them a far better ride.
It's a new world, Andrews. These days, people want speed above everything else. Americans would gladly lose their dinner over the rail if it meant arriving in New York a day sooner.
Mr. Dismay, is there something you wanted, sir?
Oh, EJ. I was wondering if you could now predict with any certainty at all our arriving in New York by Tuesday afternoon.
I can only say it's possible, sir.
Possible. Possible. But it's imperative, damn it! If we have to stand off until Wednesday morning, our return to England will be delayed by a full 24 hours. Titanic must be known as a 6-day ship. EJ, even the bloody Krauts can do it. And if second-rate tubs like the Deutschland or Kaiser Wilhelm can turn around in a fortnight, then so, by God, shall we!
I'm sure we'll do everything we can, Mr. Dismay.
Splendid. That's all one can ask for, isn't it?
Excuse me. Excuse me!
Who's there?
Barrett. Barrett!
Oh, the stoker. I remember. Welcome to the most important place on the whole ship. What can I do for you, Barrett?
I heard you could actually send a message back to England.
You heard right, all right. Sitting right here, I can communicate with important people all over the world.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll explain how it's done, but I'm afraid that you... hold on. Message coming in. Iceberg warning. From the Baltic. That's your old ship?
Yeah.
Yes. As you can see, I'm awful busy, Barrett, so what is it you want?
Well, shouldn't the captain be knowing about the iceberg then?
Not to worry. I already sent him half a dozen warnings just like it. If you ask me, they don't know what the bloody hell they're doing up there. Excuse my French, it's like we say in the secretary business, you can't be a radio operator and remain a Christian.
So how much would it cost to send a message back to my girl in England? Sort of a romantic message.
Very pretty. But romantic or not, minimum rate's £2 4 pence.
2 bloody quid? That's twice what they pay me to America and back.
Hold on. Maybe I could give you a professional discount.
Yeah? What'd that cost?
Nothing. They'll never know the difference.
Tell very much. You must be sort of a romantic person yourself.
Not me. Romance and telegraphy don't mix. See, how can you communicate with only one person when you've got the entire world talking to you? I'll need a name and address.
Oh, Darlene Watkins, Bilstrop, Nottinghamshire. Hey, what's that you're doing?
Darlene Watkins, Bilstrop, Nottinghamshire. Huh. So, what's the rest of it?
I don't know. It's got to be just the right thing. Darlene's sort of funny, you see. She said if I wouldn't take her serious, she knows someone who would. And I'm not due back for at least 2 weeks, so I might as well come straight out with it. I'll be coming back to you, darling. Back to your dark eyes and hair. Marry me when I return, darling. And until that day, my love, take care. Be thee well. May the Lord who watches all watch over thee. May God's heaven be your blanket as you softly sleep. Marry me when you're finally in my arms, you'll plainly see this devoted sailor's heart and soul are yours to keep.
Yours to keep. Every day from G-M-O-M, good morning, old man, to G-N-O-M, good night, old man. My telegraph sends its messages to ships at sea, sending out its dit-dit-dot, dit-dot, dit. Dit-dit-dot, dit-dot, dit. Dit-dit-dot, dit-dot, dit. I was young and shy, detached and sad, spent my days indoors, a homebound lad. Hardly spoke, few friends, I kept myself to myself, quite alone. Then I found Marconi's telegraph. It could span the planet's width by half. 50 yards, 2,000 miles, the same touch the spark, sound the tone, and the night was alive with 1,000 voices fighting to be heard, and each and every one of them connected to me, and my life came alive. 1,000 voices tapping out each word, like 1,000 people joined with a single heartbeat, tapping out their dit-dit-dot, dit-dot, dit. Dit-dit-dot, dit-dot, dit. Dit-dit-dot, dit-dot, everywhere.
Marry me, marry me. Signed, Fred.
Message received.
Ladies and gentlemen, after our Sunday service, all first-class passengers are invited to the boat deck, where our bandmaster, Mr. Wallace Hartley, and his ensemble will be playing out of doors for your entertainment. And now we will conclude our service with hymn number 27, God Lift Me Up. God lift me up in mighty waters, keep my eyes on things above, righteousness, divine atonement, peace and everlasting love.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone up and out, follow the band and shout, isn't it a lovely day? Yes. Watching all the ladies in Parisian fashion on display. Young Mr. Hartley is playing quite smartly in rhythm that can never lag.
It's a musical treat to hear a band with a beat performing their latest rag.
How do you do, my friend? So good to see you once more. How long since we first met? Has it been 3 days or 4? It seems like so much longer. Then a little weekend jag on the ship by ourselves on this glorious afternoon, doing the latest rag. I love the cool of the breeze, feel the rhythm of the song in your knees, promenading along at your ease like a feather in the air. Is that a hint of a chill?
it's a thrill. Keeps you hearty and healthy still. Take a partner if you dare. Everyone is bursting with emotion, dancing as we cross the mighty ocean, moving to the rhythm of the latest rag. Come on and dance with me, please. Feel the rhythm of the song in your knees, promenading along at your ease. Feather in the air, is that a hint of a chill? When you're dancing out the doors, it's a thrill. Keeps you hearty and healthy still. Take a partner if you dare.
Ladies and gentlemen, the D'Amicos.
Ragtime setting will take you away. Everyone up and out, melody lag and up, and start your spirits fine. Strolling with the orchestra beside you, playing for time. We've got a fella who's better on cello than any other ship can brag. So take your girl by the hand and lead you near to the band. Because today's latest rag, come dancing out on the well. The ship's personnel, they feel all the ocean spray. Up on the upper hotel, they know water's well. Keep all your cares away. Turn the corner of the poor parallel, the great demoiselle. Then watch all the girls sashay. Now the ragtime music will take you away. Dance with me, please, with the rhythm of the song in your knees. Promenading along at your knees, like feather in the air. Is that dark hint of a chill? When that's outdoors, it's a thrill. Keep your hearty and healthy still. Take a partner if you dare. Everyone is bursting with emotion, dancing as you cross the mighty ocean. Hasn't it been absolutely great to dance the latest rag?
Alice, there you are. I've been looking for you. What have you been up to?
Afternoon dancing.
Afternoon dancing?
It's what they call Tay-dance hand.
Back home is what they call a crocus.
Language.
Come on, little girl. We don't belong here.
Applesauce, Edgar. I have danced with the first class, Edgar. It was, oh, such a dream come true.
That class isn't for our kind, Alice.
That won't do. Oh, Edgar, haven't you noticed these days nobody's any different than anyone else? Take, for example, the Wideners of Philadelphia. I stood right next to them. They have this terribly handsome son, Harry the Harvard man. I tell you the God's honest truth, I would let that boy marry our Lucy in a second.
Well, that's half the battle.
Oh, make fun all you want, Edgar, but I want more out of life than Indianapolis, Indiana.
Well, that's why I brought you on this trip, to show you the world.
Oh, well, I don't want to see the world, Edgar. There are too many other places I'd rather see first. There are hotels on islands, Edgar. Great resorts on a sandy beach.
That's a world that's beyond our income and our reach.
That's because you've always been satisfied with just one dinky little Honda, so instead of branching out, I think the millionaires made their millions, Edgar.
Why can't you just calm down and enjoy what we have?
Please don't tell me never. Edgar, I'll
up that view.
I want more than we've got now. Edgar, why don't you?
I don't know. What do you suggest we do about it?
I don't know. I'm gonna go for a walk now, Edgar. I need to think about some things.
Three bells, Mr. Murdoch.
Thank you, Mr. Lightoller. Hold your course, quartermaster. West, northwest, 292 degrees.
West, northwest, 292 degrees, aye, sir. Mr. Murdoch, what's our present speed?
Steady at 22 knots, sir.
Have there been reports of any mechanical difficulty since reaching that speed?
No, sir, not at all.
Very good. Increase speed to 23 knots.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, we've had another ice warning, sir. Masaba reports a large berg at 42 degrees north.
42 degrees. That's in total agreement with all of the other reports we've received, except for this one from the French liner La Touraine. 41 degrees. Now that puts it a good deal closer, doesn't it? How do you explain the difference?
It might have been an error in transmission, sir.
The radio? I'll never accept the damn thing.
I'm afraid it's here to stay, sir.
Which means we'll soon be taking our orders from safe, dry little offices on shore.
It's a brand new world, Captain.
Thank God I won't be around to see it. 23 knots, Mr. Murdoch.
23 knots, aye, aye, Captain. Engine room, increase steam to 81 revolutions of the wing propellers.
So, Mr. Strauss, I'm still waiting.
For what?
The reason you sent our son Jesse a radio message?
He and his cousin Nathan want to make Macy's the largest retail store in the world. They even want to give away catalogs like Sears and Roebuck. It's totally crazy.
And what did you tell him?
To go ahead. It's a new world out there, Mrs. Strauss. I don't pretend to understand it.
Oh, good evening, sir. Henry Etches, first class steward.
Good evening. Edgar Bean, second class passenger.
Bean, I know that name.
Oh yeah, you probably ran into my wife. She likes to dance with millionaires.
Oh, yes, quite so. My condolences.
That's a far-off look I'm seeing in your eye, Kate. Which far place that you're looking at? America? Or Ireland?
If you must know, I was thinking about a friend of mine, a very dear friend. It seems she left home because she made a mistake she couldn't get rid of.
Well, she should have been more careful.
So, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Who knows? Maybe I'll run for the Congress again. To tell you the truth, I really liked it there. And the best part is, you don't have to know anything.
Seems she wants much more out of life than I can possibly give her.
Isn't that always the way, sir? I had a wife once.
Oh yeah, what happened?
No, nothing. I still have her. In all my years, I never saw it so calm.
Was it my imagination, or are we going faster than ever before?
My friend were here now instead of me, Jim. What would you say to her?
Well, I'd say, what's what I call her then?
We're all named Kate. You know that.
Well, I'd say Kate. Do you know who the father is?
What a sad question. What do you take her for?
And he refused to go with her. A decent work being hard to find, he probably didn't want to leave his job.
Or his wife. So, tell me, Jim Farrell, can a decent feller care for a woman who already has a bit of a family?
Well made, sir. Astor, that'll cost us some.
It's your deal, Major. Mr. Rogers, your reputation as a fine bridge player is well earned. You play an excellent game.
Thank you, sir.
Either that or you're uncommonly lucky.
Bridge isn't a game of chance, Mr. Astor.
Reminds me of the time I was playing bridge with Lord Raglan during the Crimean campaign, when out of nowhere came 2,000 crazed godless savages. Yes.
I've been told on very good authority that there are gamblers on board, card shoppers who make their living traveling back and forth across the Atlantic.
Gamblers? Nonsense. How do these rumors start?
Oh, you can be sure they're here, Major. How could they avoid fleecing a passenger list like this one? I've even heard talk that the notorious Jay Yates is aboard.
I can see his name on the passenger list.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? But I'll give you 10 to 1. He's here. Somewhere.
No moon, no wind, nothing to spy things by. No wave, no swell, no line where sea meets sky. Stillness, darkness, can't see a thing, says I. No reflection, not a shadow, not a glint of light meets the eye. And we go sailing, sailing, ever westward on the sea. We go sailing, sailing, ever on go we.
It's a beautiful night, Mr. Strauss, even though there's no moon. Look at all the stars. Can you find the Big Dipper?
The Big Dipper? I can't even find our own stateroom. Every time I go out for a walk, finding my way back is an adventure.
Maybe you should drop breadcrumbs.
Can you feel how cold it's getting, Mrs. Strauss? All in the past couple of hours. Would you like me to get your first door?
What? And maybe never see you again? No, thank you. I'd rather freeze.
Are you cold then, Katie?
Not now that you've got your arm around me.
But I don't. Oh, you're a funny one, Kate McGowan.
Funny? Thanks very much.
Well, because you come right out with what you want.
And you find that funny, do you? What kind of girl do you think I am? Think I need to be told what I want? Life's too short for that, me boy.
The weather's quite changed, Mr. Lightoller.
Yes, sir. It's turned very cold, only 1 point above freezing.
Ocean temperatures down to 31 degrees, Captain.
Warn the carpenter to check our supply of fresh water. And tell the engine room to watch the steam winches.
Aye, aye, sir.
There's not much wind, is there?
No, sir. It appears to be a flat calm.
And we go sailing.
See how cold it is, smooth as polished glass. On the open sea, feel the fight in the air. On the open sea, smooth as polished glass.
Ever on go we.
Good night, gentlemen. I'll be just inside. Keep a sharp watch. The naked eye, that's something you can depend on.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Crow's Nest, this is the bridge. Keep an eye peeled for ice.
Charles, think. In 2 days, America. What's the first thing you're going to do once we get there, darling? After marrying me, of course.
Apply to the sports desk of an important New York newspaper. I'm sure they can use a journalist with my kind of experience.
But darling, you don't know anything about American sports, do you?
Well, it's not too terribly complicated. You see, it seems that their football is similar to our rugby. Except for some reason, their chaps need a great deal of padding.
They sound like an eminently sensible race.
Let us both hope so. That's why we're going there.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Madam, this happens to be the smoke room.
So I see.
Women are never permitted in the first-class smoking room, madam.
Don't look so shocked, gentlemen.
There's a new world out there.
There's a new world out where?
Mr. Hartley, that's a new melody. What's it called?
Autumn, ma'am.
Autumn, shall we all meet in the autumn, golden and glowing by autumn? Shall we still be best of friends, best of friends?
Gentlemen, let me introduce myself.
Mrs. Charlotte Cardoza. I know who you are, madam. Recently widowed with a considerably generous inheritance.
And I know who you are, Mr. Astor. Recently remarried with a considerably younger wife.
You seem to enjoy shocking people, madam. I've heard you described as a modern woman by people who don't mean it as a compliment.
And I've heard you described as the world's greatest monument to unearned income.
Breezes blow and turn cold as we continue growing old this autumn. Long will you found me at last.
So, what do you say, gentlemen? I happen to play an excellent game of auction bridge. May I join you?
Where is your sense of occasion, madam? I understand you just lost your husband.
Yes, but not at cards. And another thing, would you mind putting out those dreadful cigars?
So, Kate McGowan, what in Modestine are you gonna say to me next then?
I'm going to say, Jim Farrell, will you marry me?
For the love of God, Kate! Well, I know it's the new world we're going to, but we haven't even got there yet. Don't you leave anything for the man to say?
He can say yes. We're gonna be needing each other when we get there, me boyo. And me baby's gonna need a dad. So we better settle it right now. Will you say yes then?
Well, I might as well. Chances are you wouldn't take a no anyways. So, Kate, you gonna throw me down and kiss me?
Ahead we plow into the darkening night. Can't see the bow. How then to search with only starlight? No.
The scrolls were turning at 81. The scrolls were turning at 81.
The night was alive with 1,000 voices. No moon, no wind. Dear Mother of God.
Iceberg! Right ahead!
Thank you. Quartermaster, hard or starboard?
Hard to starboard, aye, sir.
Engines, full astern.
Full astern, sir!
The helm's hard over, Captain.
The distance, Mr. Fleet.
A quarter of a mile, maybe a little less.
9, 10.
Turn.
11. A full point, sir.
Turn.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph! Would you look at the size of it, sir? It's like a rock of bloody